So you want to tell them how we met?
You can tell.
When you had a failed relationship, did you feel very devastated? So if somebody has the issue of reaching out and is very shy, what would you advise the person? If you can flick your finger and miraculously become single again, would you do it? Hi everybody. So happy Valentine's Day. We would like to just talk a little bit about how we meet each other. Hopefully it would inspire those of you out there who thinks that you are cursed to be forever single. We don't think that it's necessary to be forever single and that everybody can find someone. Today we're going to try something new, which is very conversational, because I was telling Shen, I think that it is very important for us to actually do this vlog style of YouTubing, because I think some of our ideas may actually benefit you and may actually benefit our children in future. So it's good to actually document it on video here so that our children can watch back and understand what we think at this point of time. Because as we grow old and we are trying to give our children advice when we are old, I think the advice will be very different. But yeah, so I hope that you do enjoy this video that is basically us ranting and talking our opinions. So you want to tell them how we met?
You can tell.
I am always looking for exciting things to do. So I was looking on Facebook and I found out that this girl is a tiger researcher. So I actually wanted to see big pussies. I actually wanted to see tigers. And we started getting to know each other, and then I think about a year later she came to KL and we decided to meet up. 1 month later we were a couple, and that's it. When you were single, did you find a need to be with someone?
Always, actually. I feel like my will is not a common worldview. My philosophy or what I think of the world is quite different. It's hard to find someone that is compatible or understand what I think of the world in terms of environmental issues or the ethics. To be able to find someone that resonate or at least accept or understand what I think is quite hard, and to accept all that. So someone to discuss the ideas or philosophy with, it's quite valuable.
Yeah, basically she's glad that she finally found me. I'm the greatest gem in the world. So what was your first thought in the beginning when you know, like when you realized that someone is coming after you? What was your first thought?
I was actually worried or wary because there were many failed relationships. So I'm not sure this guy is sincere or not. So I'm not sure to try or not. I mean, every time you're going to be in a relationship, you have these doubts. So that is quite common, and I had it as well with him. So yeah.
And today we have 3 kids. So the thing about it, I think, is that there is doubt in everything. I mean, even if you take a car and you drive to work, you can die in a car accident on your way to work. So I think people should not think so much when they go into a relationship. So I think that it's just about opening up, and you know, like that's why it's called dating. You go out dating, and if it doesn't work out, you break apart. When you had a failed relationship last time, did you feel very devastated? Did you feel like totally destroyed that I will, you know, girls,
it was depressing.
No offense, girls and boys always have a tendency to go like, I will never love again.
No.
This is the end of my life.
I wouldn't say I feel that way. It was depressing, but I didn't lose hope. But more like I do not want to hope. I didn't lose the hope, but I was like, I do not want to put any expectation anymore. It's like, oh, if I found someone, I found someone. If I didn't, then it's fine. I don't feel the urge to actually go around looking for someone, and if I don't get it, I will die. Or I just leave it open.
Shen is very realistic about things sometimes, you know, like sometimes when I talk about, you know, like, oh, you know, like what if this happened to our kids, she would even say something like, it's okay, we have a spare. But of course she means it as a joke. You can't be too worried about it, and you can't let that worry basically press you down so badly so that you refuse to act on it. So even though you can get hurt from getting into a relationship, we think that you should get into a relationship, risk the hurt, because the rewards can outweigh the hurts. And yes, some people may take more than a few tries to basically reap the rewards. A lot of time people always say to me that I cannot go into a relationship, invested in the relationship and not feel the heartbreak. Yes, you can feel the heartbreak. You will feel the heartbreak, but there is no necessity to kill yourself over a heartbreak. I mean, it's kind of like when you cut your finger, and if you just keep looking at your finger and say that I'm in pain, this is so bad, my finger is going to drop off, then it feels much more terrible. Whereas if you're in the middle of a heartbreak and you just tell yourself, I'll be okay, and rather than thinking bad of your ex-boyfriends and ex-girlfriend and hoping that they die or something like that, which you keep poisoning yourself, if you were to just let go and say that you wish him well, he has a nice life, and you know, you just look at your thing and say that yeah, it will heal. It heals a lot faster. By the way, I'm totally fine with Shen being friends with her ex, and I think Shen is fine with me being friends with my ex. I don't know.
I'm friends with your ex.
Yeah, because some of my exes actually come and attended my kids' birthday parties, and I think that love should not come with this great need of ownership, because at the end of the day, we are all individuals. Technically, we all come into this world alone and we die alone. So the thing is that if we feel that I own you, like I own Shen, so Shen has to do this in a certain way, and Shen feels that she owns me and I have to do this in a certain way, that is how the relationship becomes very, very strained. And that is how, you know, like you get very disappointed at each other, because when you own things, you expect things to be a certain way, but people are not things. So people have a need to basically be free, to have individual thought, because after all, my nature and my nurture is totally different from Shen. I grew up in Sarawak, she grew up in Kuantan, so we can't be the same. We have different families and stuff like that. And in fact, actually, we are quite opposite, because I believe in a God. I'm Catholic.
I'm not.
Shen cannot decide whether she's an agnostic or atheist.
I'm just what I believe.
Yeah, so I like to be very dreamy. I like art, and I like to, you know, pick up random pieces of sticks everywhere and say, look at how artistic it is. Whereas you can ask her what she thinks.
This is a piece of rubbish most of the time.
I love toys like this. This is, you know, the Optimus Prime with the, whoa, so cool. And what does she think about it?
Piece of junk.
So why do you allow
Collecting dust.
Why do you allow me to have something like this?
Well, same actually. A happy wife makes a happy husband. Actually true also. A happy husband makes a happy wife. So I do have my limits, so I will give him some condition as long as you keep it properly, not around, and as long as you keep it in acceptable budget range, I'm okay. So give and take lah. If he wants, you figure out what is the maximum that you can tolerate and lay down the condition to him.
So yeah, one time I bought this toy from the US. This is a Centurion, Max Ray Centurion. And Shen, what do you think?
Rubbish.
It's absolute rubbish to her, but how cool is this? See, missiles that launch. Pew! So yeah, I bought 2 units of this, and Shen will not believe me, but she asked me, why did you buy 2 units? And I said that I can sell off 1 unit and make enough money to cover my cost of buying the unit for myself. And Shen didn't believe me. Do you believe me? I posted on Facebook. It was sold the same day. The person actually said to me, hold on to the toy, I am coming now, make sure you don't sell it to anybody, and it was actually sold off the same day. So yeah, being opposites has a value, because being opposite, there is a good chance that you will learn something new from the other person that you never know.
No. Pew! It's important to have mutual respect, to understand that your partner is another individual and you are also another individual. So in a relationship, you would work towards like the middle ground, and you want to be in the acceptable range of your partner. And if your partner do the same, you guys are alright. You will move in a acceptable range kind of directions.
Rather than basically.
Rather than to expect two of you move in my direction or I move in your lane, I don't think that is a realistic expectation.
There is this cartoon of two goats being tied to each other and there's long grass on both sides. So if both goats was to go one way, they can both eat the grass on one side, and if they go the other way, they can also eat the grass on the other side. But if they both want to eat the opposing side grass at the same time, then basically they're strangling each other. I don't know who created the cartoon, but it's quite smart. This is the Chinese Valentine's culture, unlike the westernized Valentine's culture whereby you basically buy a box of chocolates or roses. We do it with an orange and a pen. So what a girl would do is the girl will write the phone number on an orange.
Right.
Technically it should be a mandarin orange. This is not a mandarin orange. This is one of those sun-kissed oranges. So I guess that will not really work. But anyway, it serves the purpose for display. So
Name?
they will write a name. Yeah.
So am I available after this?
So so they will write the name and the phone number on an orange.
What number is that?
And
Very
they
sure.
will go to a river and they will, okay, you have to throw it. Throw the orange into the, they will throw the orange into the river.
Throw?
Yeah, just throw. So they throw the orange into the river and a boy would basically come with a fishnet and catch the orange, and when they have that orange and the number, they would actually call the number in the hopes of getting a girl. I do not know whether anybody has ever had any success with this, but if you do have success, please leave a comment below. What do you think as a girl is the best way for a guy to approach a girl?
It really depends on the girl. Some people like it direct, some people like it indirect or hinting, some people like a romance or... So for me, the best way is to be true to yourself. Like, if you like hiking, ask the girl for hiking. If you like dancing, ask the girl for dancing. So the expectation is more true rather than you pretend to be someone you're not. And at the end, the other partner find out the truth, and that is where the relationship is shaky.
I actually don't understand now guys who says that I still can't find a girl, because today is so much easier. We come from a time when there was no Tinder yet. There's Facebook. Technically there's Facebook.
Yeah.
There was a time that you do not know anything about the girl. The girl is just somebody that you see and you think that she meets your the first thing that we judge a person on is actually the looks. So she meets my aesthetic needs, she must be nice, she must be what I want, and so we begin to know the girl. But nowadays we can actually go to a girl's Facebook and become sort of a semi-stalker and we can find out a lot about the girl before we even make the first move. And very often nowadays when you have Tinder and you can swipe left or swipe right, you know that that person is already looking for somebody. So I really don't understand why some people nowadays still have that issue of reaching out. So if somebody has the issue of reaching out and is very shy, what would you advise the person?
I don't know.
My advice is actually quite strange. My advice would be actually, if you need to look for a girlfriend and you do not know how to find one, tell all your casual girl friends that you are looking for a girlfriend, because girls have many girlfriends and guys have many guy friends. Guys know of many guy friends who are looking for girls, and girls knows of many girls friends who are looking for guys. So I would say that, you know, don't have that vulnerability issue whereby you don't want to tell people that, you know, people have a tendency to say, I'm not desperate. If you're desperate and you want a partner, I think it's good to just say, yes, I'm desperate. Yes, I'm looking for someone. You see?
Yeah.
So if you just go there and say that, yes, I'm desperate, I'm looking for someone, and your friend know of somebody, chances are you will get somebody. So like that. So just now you were mentioning what it's about testing the water to see whether somebody is the right one and somebody is sincere. So what is the benchmark of somebody who is sincere? How do you tell when you are just dating before you take the next step of introducing the girl, you know, like, hey mom, this is my girlfriend. before you bring the girl home for dinner, before you like do all the
I don't know,
formalities,
just
how do you know?
observe and instinct. Just observe what he does, and I mean, I'm sure you'll be invited to his house. Just look around the house, and you can tell by the way he arranged things, or the collection he has, what kind of person he is, or
So
get to know his
you
friends.
always knew that I was a hoarder before I was.
Definitely look at your house. Yeah, I mean, get to know his friends also. Yeah, see what kind, be in the daily activity of the other person. Like if he is a cameraman, then attend his work, attend his social activities. Like if he go out for art exhibition, go with him and see what kind of person, what things he like and how he interact with other people. Just be in his life as much as possible to know, and interview his brother, sister, friends, mother, father, everyone.
Shen, ironically, actually knows my mom and dad for a good 1 year before she actually know me, because she happened to be my brother's friend and visited Kuching and visited my mom and dad before I even knew her. Honestly, do you miss being single?
Sometimes when you're stressed, then you do miss being single and think of all the things you can do without all these kids hovering around you. Yeah, but in general, I'm not a person who would regret things, because I believe there's always good and bad that will happen when you make a decision, and nobody will know whether the bad one will happen or the good one will happen. So I just continue to my journey.
There is value to being single. I mean, you can run out anytime, and hang around with anybody you want. Whereas, when you are married, it's not that you can't hang out with anybody you want, but you have to consider first that you have kids. So sometimes Shen is very kind. Shen would say that, yeah, you can go ahead, go hang out with your friends. But I know when she says that, she is being very nice to me to want to give me my space. But at the back of her eyes, I can tell that she's like, if you go out,
No
I'm gonna
lah,
die.
sincere lah. Well,
So-
actually, I do that so that he will also give me my space. So
So
it's equal.
there are times when we say to each other like, yeah, go out and have your free time. But at the back of our eyes, at the back of our mind, we are like, oh, help me. Yeah. So
No, I believe everybody need to have some personal time, even though few hours just to do your own thing. So one of the ways that you can achieve it if you do not have support system is to train your kids to be independent. Well, some parents like to do it with gadgets or like screen time to have time away from the kids. You can also train your kids to be independent or can take care of themselves or play themselves. That's how we do it lah with our kids.
we actually find that having 3 kids is easier than having
Yeah.
1 kid, because a lot of people think that having 1 kid is already so daunting. Why would I want to have 3 kids? But when we have 3 kids, they actually start playing themselves and they
And they
actually
take care of each
learning
other,
from each other. Like our youngest kid, she can start counting to 10, counting to 20, and Shen has never taught him how to count to 10 or 20,
Yeah.
but he got
Miraculously,
it
just-
by copying. So we really think that having 3 kids, our kids have very small age differences. They are 2 years apart from each other. There's 3, 5, and 7. So they are quite peers. Yes, there are times when they can fight really badly. There are times when they are kicking each other, and like those are times when like I would look at Shen and say, should we take out the rotan? So the rotan is a stick. Yes, we still use brutal force here in Asia, and I'm quite sure a lot of people in Malaysia, we still use the rotan. But we try not to hit the kid first. We are basically sort of like issuing a threat.
It's like a warning.
Yeah, it's like a warning. So yeah, so if you can flick your finger and miraculously become single again, would you do it?
No.
Yeah. I suppose for me, I have enjoyed my single life. So the thing is that I feel that this is a nice continuation of it, because when you are single and you are looking for companionship, like you're looking for a girlfriend, and then things doesn't work out with a girlfriend, then you basically sort of go back to searching for a girlfriend, then you go to the cycle of introducing yourself to the family, have your favorite song together, favorite movie together, and then suddenly you break up and then you go back to the beginning of the cycle again. So once you've gone through that cycle a few times, it gets quite boring. I think that actually having kids, having to deal with the emotions of the kids, having to deal with the stresses and stuff like that, it basically enhances the relationship, because you are kind of like going through more adventures together. Like when we travel together, it's a different dynamic now, because last time if you travel when you're single, it's just about you, whatever you want to do. Now when we travel, we have to be like
checklist 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Did we bring enough food in case the place where we go does not have food at night for the kids? What would the kids need? Did we bring extra clothes in case they spill drinks or pee in their pants by mistake or something like that?
I think compared to single life and a committed family life, you would have a bigger hurdle. You feel the stress is more, but because there is a companion and a partner to do it together, it feels easier to get through the hurdle. That's why I always prefer to have somebody else to do it together, even though the hurdle or the commitment or whatever it is, the hardship is higher or bigger or greater.
So, you're a girl, and there are a lot of boys out there, not like me, who does not know how to approach a girl because they fear failure. One of the biggest thing is that a lot of guys stay single, and I think a lot of girls also stay single because they are so scared to approach somebody else, because they think that if I approach somebody else, what if that person reject me? My heart will be broken. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, if you don't try, you will never know. So just have an open heart, try and expect the worst and the best. And it's like gambling, you don't know what you will get, but whatever you get, you have to be prepared to accept it. Yeah.
I would say that there's actually a lot of desperate guys out there, and there are actually a lot of desperate girls out there, and you should really ask, because sometimes a guy or a girl, you never know, they're actually waiting for you to ask. Because like, I don't think that I'm a very good looking guy. I think Shen is prettier in terms of being in the aesthetic departments. Shen stands higher than me, but the thing about it is that I have always had very pretty girlfriends, just I think because of the fact that I dared to ask. There was one girlfriend that I had, I decided to ask her after 3 days of knowing her, and she said that I was actually expecting you to ask yesterday, you see. So the thing about it is that sometimes I think that we think too much. We should just, be honest with our feelings and ask. Yeah. And if it doesn't work out, then we move on, you see.
At least you know and you try.
Yeah, but we have to accept that the person that we ask can say no, and stop chasing after the person or stop harassing the person if the person says no. Because seriously, if somebody...
Actually, sometimes you should harass a little bit more.
Yeah, sometimes you should harass a bit more.
Not until the point of annoyance, but yeah.
Sometimes girls say no because they're in a shock. They don't know what to think.
Or they have doubts.
Yeah, so they quickly say no first as a quick solution. And then after that, basically, they actually, they think over it and they actually want. So sometimes it's good to basically hint to a girl first. So when you hint to a girl, then the girl can start thinking, and then when you ask, you would probably get a more definitive answer. But we do really have to accept when people say no, because imagine somebody who doesn't meet your principle and who is really undesirable to you. I mean, I'm not saying that that person is totally undesirable to everyone. Everybody is desirable to somebody. But if somebody is totally undesirable to you and they basically come to you and insist that you become their partner, you would also want the rights to say no. So we do have to accept a no. And I have been rejected before. I'm sure as a girl, you never get rejected.
No.
Girls get it easy. They just smile, wave their hair, and magic happens, right? Maybe I'm what they call a mega hamsaplo or something like that. Somehow or another, I never had that fear. I never had that fear of asking. I'll just go and ask. I mean, yes, granted, there was a time when I would pick up the phone, want to call a girl, and put down before she would answer. nervous. I do have that, but I never had that fear that a girl is not approachable. And I think Shen will tell you that as a girl, sometimes girls want you to ask them. So this Valentine's Day, do try to basically give a call to somebody that you think may be interested, and who knows. So yeah, I mean, I guess YouTube videos are not meant to be hour long, so I guess we will end here. If you like our conversations, please do subscribe, and please do like and share, and do comment if you have anything that you oppose what we say, or if you like an opinion on something else. Yeah, just comment. We would love to hear from you, and we would love to basically reply to you. Yeah, thank you very much. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day.
As your lawful wife, as a husband, do you promise to do that? Take good care of her.
If you enjoyed the video, please support us by pressing the like button below. Also, do consider subscribing to our channel and hit the bell notification icon.